Let's evaluate the definite integral from minus 5 to 2 of 5x minus e to the x dx. We're first going to integrate 5x. 5x becomes 5x squared over 2. Based on the power rule, or basically reversed power rule, x to the n, when it's been integrated, becomes x to the n plus 1 over n plus 1. Did we forget anything? Correct. Don't forget plus c. When we work with indefinite integrals, plus c, or the arbitrary constant, shows up at the very end. However, when we work with definite integrals, the answer will be a number, or basically a finite value, rather than a family of functions. Continue. E to the x, also it's not plus, it's minus e to the x will be still e to the x. Remember, derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Now, the new notation is a bar, and you put minus 5 and 2 at the bottom and on the top of the bar, indicating that we will be substituting those values into the entire derivative we just found. Sometimes you will see people put parentheses over here. Sometimes you will see half bracket. Different notations are coming from different books and different teachers. Equals 2. You first substitute the upper limit of integration. I just like to call it the top. Substitute the top into x. You will have 2 squared over 2, and I will color code it for you. 2 minus e to the 2, correct. Now, it's very important to have parentheses, negative sign, and new parentheses. The negative sign comes from the formula. If you remember, integral of f of x dx from a to b will be substitute the top, substitute the bottom, and find the difference. That is the fundamental theorem of calculus, part 2. So, again, I'll just make sure you understand. I'm calling top and the bottom b and a, which is basically the upper limit of integration and the lower limit of integration. Now I'm substituting negative 5, and for that I'll go to the next line. You don't have to do it, but I want to visually show you the difference. And I will have 5 multiplied by 2 at the denominator was already there. Now don't forget, and I will color code it for you again, to open parentheses and write down negative 5 inside of the parentheses, and it is squared. Minus e raised to the what? To the negative 5, correct. Close the parentheses. So be very careful and don't lose the negative sign of 5. Now, you just need to simplify this expression using algebra, your favorite part, right? So, 2 squared over 2 is just 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Minus e squared. Minus, I will open parentheses again. Maybe I will keep the first parenthesis as well. You don't have to, but it looks nice. Now, minus 5 times minus 5 is plus 25. And times 1 more 5 and divided by 2, we simplify everything, and it will be 125 over 2 with a positive sign. Minus e to the negative 5. There's nothing you can do here. And now you collect the coefficients. You cannot collect e to the 2 and e to the minus 5, but at least you can simplify the constants. 10 minus 125 over 2 minus e squared minus and minus gives you plus e to the minus 5. And the final answer becomes, create common denominator, 2. Then it's going to be 20 minus 125, which simplifies 2. And I just want to simplify it right away. Negative 105 minus e squared and plus e to the negative 5. And there is no need to have plus c at the end. This is the final answer. Now, this was a nice short example, and I wanted to illustrate for you what did we just do. We found the integral of this function 5x minus e to the x from minus 5 to 2. Visually, you can sketch the graph of the function integrand, that is the function inside of the integral, 5x minus e to the x, it's in front of you. And now we looked at the area from minus 5 to 2. Well, the area from minus 5 till this point over here is below x-axis, so it is negative. If you imagine that someone was digging the soil to build some construction, then this is a pit, right? It's empty, below the ground, because x-axis is the ground. I like explaining it this way. Now, from that point till I think 3-ish, the area is positive. The final answer is this negative area plus positive area. Because the positive area is small, we expect the total answer to be negative, right? Because the pit is deeper than this little hill over here. That's how I'm imagining it. Well, this number, is it positive or it's negative? Well, actually, if you take your calculator and approximate the answer, you will see that it is negative 59.882. And it is indeed negative. And that's how you practice integration.